Hello, my friends. Welcome back. It's the final day of SVS prep, and I have got to spend all my common wild marks. You know, the good news about having so many common wild marks is I get some stats. The bad news is it's going to take me like a while to go spend them. So let's go set up and we'll do the thing and we'll see how we do here. Now, before I do, we go into pets here and let's see. Where can I see stats? That's it. Okay. So this is where we're starting. 185.6, then 192, 182, 181.77. I mean, look, I'll take a picture maybe and compare them side to side. Maybe that's the way to do it. But those are the stats we got so far. Let's see how many we gain with all these wild marks. I'm going to start over here. I'm going to smash auto. Do them all. It's not going to do them. We're not going to need to do them all. We're going to hit stop by the time we'll get the purples here, chat. We're going to flip over. But yeah, sure. Let's get after it, chat. And now I guess we go to story time as my wild marks work or don't work. And in many cases, don't work. Rip Bozo. Oh my God. Please just give me stats. So, how have I been? What have I been up to? I've been up to a lot, chat. So let's talk about this for a moment. I got a bunch of channels. I got the big channel. I play Rise of Kingdoms and Call of Dragons. I took a sponsorship with Raid, and I've been making content covering that game, which has been really exciting. More on that later. I do have a sponsored link that you can grab from my big Discord server. So if you're going to play, use the sponsored link. That's how I get credit. And they know that I sent you. And this video isn't sponsored by them. I'm just talking about what I've been up to. Okay. So I've been playing Raid. So that's a third game. And then, of course, Whiteout Survival. So that's 4 games I got going. And also, Blizzard just put Overwatch Rush into, like, I don't know, regional launch. It's like an alpha state. And so I downloaded that. And it's a good thing that I did because now they've closed it off already. And they're like, all right, if you're in, you're in. And if you're not in yet, sorry, dude. So glad I downloaded it when I did. I like MOBAs as a style of game. Which is completely different than this, by the way. So that's a MOBA. So I got kind of like 5-ish games going. Plus I have a guilty pleasure game I do on the side on top of. I got too many games. So yeah, I've been doing all that, and I think it's going pretty well, generally speaking. It keeps me incredibly busy. Plus I've got another project on the side that I'm not really talking about yet, but I don't know. One day I'll get to talk about it. And I think that's going to be really exciting. If it all comes to fruition, and I hope that I will. Or that it will. Whatever. You know what I meant. And in Whiteout Survival, what are my goals right now? Honestly, like, I'm just kind of enjoying it. Growing the channel. I'll probably have some more strategic vids coming out soon. But it's been mostly like just vids about pushing. I'm sure you've noticed this. Like, oh, there's an event I'm spending. I'll make a vid about it. And here we're pushing, right? I guess I could have made a vid talking about my gear choices, which probably would have been a good idea for, you know, the mithril that I spent and the essence stones that I spent. But let me give you the TLDR, all right? I spent like 140 mithril, and then I ran out of mythic gear pieces. And so I barely made any essence stone upgrades because I'm out. I'm tapped. So it is kind of funny how at the start of the game, you might think, oh, what I really need is XP. But later on, what you'll be thinking is, oh, what I really need is more mythic pieces, even if it means I'm getting less XP. Because now I'm kind of working on second sets for 2 of the troop types. And I'm not really pushing them, but what I mean by that is that I've been able to take them to level 100, not red, okay, but like level 100 for health on infantry and lethality on marksmen, and I'm running those in arena as well. You know, I got like part of an extra set going, which I don't know. I mean, it's nice to have multiple sets. I can only imagine as a real Kraken with so many sets made, it's got to be real nice. But yeah, as someone who hasn't even maxed out a base set of gear yet, it's not happening for me anytime soon. I did take to level, like fully level 100, red, 100 plus or whatever. My marksman stuff. So I have all of the bonuses there, except the essence stones still need to get advanced. So it's like level 20, level 19 on the lethality pieces, and 15 on the health, for what it's worth. All right. So this will be a nice little stat boost, hopefully. How much am I expecting to get out of this? I mean, I don't know. Probably 20 or 30% on health and lethality overall. Like after I've done this and I go on to some other pet, and this one pet, obviously I'll run this to purple on everything and then hit stop and then do some other pet. And theoretically, as soon as any of them flip purple, I could switch to another pet and it might be a better use of the stones. So it's probably knowable, but I'm not sure what the answer is here. Under 40 mil, let's keep pushing, guys. Dude, this prep is so close. It's actually quite insane. It's quite insane. I guess we'll see. We shall see. I would say that overall our state is in a pretty good spot. There was a time with some drama, which is really unfortunate. A small number of people who thought they knew better than everybody else were like running the show and creating discontent and just being really, they thought they're the heroes, as every villain does, but like it just made it awful. And honestly, a bunch of people left the state over this stupidity. And I learned a couple valuable lessons. And one of them is that although I am at times like super naive and believe the best in people, some people, they honestly just kind of don't give a fuck, man. Like they think they're right. They'll placate you. They'll do whatever the fuck, and they're going to do what they're going to do, and they just don't care. And they think they're right, and they're better than everybody else. And I'm not saying I think that I'm that, and blah, blah, blah. I'm just saying, like, objectively, this small group, and I'm guilty for believing in them and that they could make things better, really effed it over for everybody, which is really frustrating, actually. And so it teaches me that, like, Asmongold is always right. And in this case, one of the things that Asmongold says, again, it's not always right literally about everything, but he jokes that he is. But one thing he said is, if you do not address the most radical people in your community becomes defined by those people. And so there were a small number of people who, when shit would go wrong, they'd be like, fuck them, they're so bad at everything. And they sort of like started their own little group of like, we're better than everybody else and we don't have any bullshit and blah, blah, blah. And like some of the people over there were really lovely. And like some of the people over there are just power tripping. And having like any entity in your state that is operating in a way that is different than the rest of the state, like, simply doesn't work. And it sounds really obvious in hindsight, but like what the group said they were going to do and what they were actually doing is like two totally different things. And I think what they thought they were doing and what they were actually doing was like two completely different things. But if you have a group in your state that's like predatorily capitalizing on whenever someone feels bad about something stupid, or there's like micro drama and they turn it into huge drama, like that's basically what happened. Oh, you didn't like that somebody joined with the wrong joiner and bear trap? Fuck them, quit the alliance and join us. It's like, dude. And all it takes is like quite literally one or two people that are super high powered that then support that group because they had some micro drama that they were a part of. And they're like, yeah, micro drama. And it's like the whole thing fucking spirals. So anyways, all the people causing all the problems are gone now. But now preps are very close for us because so many people saw all this bullshit going on. And like our options were civil war and all kinds of bullshit and blah, 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 or like tolerate it until they leave. And it sucked because like eventually they left, but like, man, did it F us over. And they would think, no, you wronged us, blah, blah, blah. And I'm sure I'll see some comments to that effect, but it doesn't really matter. They're gone. Thank God. They left without zeroing anybody. In fact, a bunch of them got zeroed because some people left our state. This happened earlier. I guess I should make a separate video about this. But some people left our state at one point because they were like, fuck these assholes. They're such pieces of shit. I don't want to be around them. It makes it miserable to log in. And like, we look like we're the assholes if we do anything about it. So they left the alliance. They were quitting. They were on their way out and they're like, fuck it. And they zeroed them all. And it's like the guilty, the not guilty, the guilty by association. Like they just fucking went after it, man. So anyways, I'm not explaining it overly well. And at this point, like, I kind of don't care. Those individuals honestly made it, for a time, like, kind of miserable for me to log into the game. I was like, I don't even want to fucking open this thing. These guys are such assholes and they've really fucked it up for everybody. That for a time, even I was like really low motivation. It's true. And it's like, can I talk about it in videos? Like, I don't know that I can. So I mostly just didn't. And I stopped advertising our state as a place to transfer to because I was like, these guys are fucking it up. But now that they're gone and like we're back to, hey, it's all people who are like working together and they're not like assholes and they're not like we actually are back down to like all nice people, all rowing in the same direction, all trying to win together. And it's like, cool, good. We're back to where we need to be. But it's frustrating that like we went through a cycle of stupidity that feels completely unnecessary. And like, if I were doing it all over again, I would offer the advice that like, first of all, it's easier to see in hindsight. But second of all, like, if you allow the most, if you do not police the most radical members of your community, then those radical members define your community. Full stop. Right? And it's not that radical to be like, hey, we're going to start a different alliance. And like, we wanted another alliance to grow and like bring people in. And we needed like another place to put people at the time, not anymore. But like, I tried to find the positive and what I should have done and what I would recommend and what I would do in the future is be like, fucking get your ducks in a row. You're in line with everybody else or fucking you're out of here. And I know I'm dropping a lot of F-bombs, but like, yeah, no, if I could go back in time, I would do it completely differently. Was it a valuable lesson? Sure. Was it a painful lesson? Yeah, definitely. 100%. But again, the good news is that I probably even shouldn't be talking about this, but I'm mentioning it because like, now we have an amazing base to build on, of honestly a group that punches way above its weight. Like we are, as a state, I think super lean, and we've been winning SVS after SVS with a bunch of dead weight, and like now all the dead weight's gone, and it is nice. We do need to get back into the rhythm of having everybody save for prep though, and like. Whatever. I mean, we'll get there eventually, I suppose. But yeah, that all happened. And honestly, dramatically detracted from my enjoyment for a time of Whiteout Survival. It's like the drama was so intense. This is while I had cancer too. I was like committing time to trying to solve this drama. And it's like, dude, like if you end up getting more sick, like you're going to feel like a fucking idiot for having spent time on these guys. And like, I still feel like a fucking idiot for having spent time on these guys. Cause it's like, I'm a content creator with a bunch of subscribers. Let's just say that. Okay. And like, there are people who would love to enjoy my company that aren't fucking up the state that I'm in. You know what I mean? Like there are all these people who like actively want to help progress like me and what I'm up to and support me, not that are not actively fucking me, that like would love to have had the attention that I was giving to folks that like I was trying to minimize the extent to which they were fucking over everybody's experience. I can't believe I put time into that when I had cancer. I'm an idiot. I am a complete idiot. But hey, I survived, so I guess it worked out. It's almost like dumb to even say out loud. But I'll tell you how it is. Okay, now I probably should stop at this point because multiple of these have flipped over to purple. And so at that point, I should probably be switching to a pet where none of them are purple, because I think the chances are better that I'll get gains. So do I care about what's remaining? Lancer health, I don't overly care about. Marksman lethality is kind of nice. Okay, and now we're done. Stop. Good. Okay, so that ran me like 1,200 stones, which means, I mean, I could do more pets here. Okay, good. This guy's done. Let's go back here. Okay, so Frost Gorilla, chilling. This I could do, but I should probably do something else. This guy's effed forever because I did the individual stats that I cared about the most following that methodology, which really backfired. Wow, are all my legendaries like pretty advanced here? I might have to work on the one where I'm kind of cooked. This is like the most tragic story of my life. Which honestly, if that's the most tragic story of my life, we're doing okay. This is Marksman health, Lancer health. Yeah, I kind of don't care about that one. Wait, this is actually crazy. We're in... Wait, no, I can't be in as good of a spot. The Frost Gorilla is basically done. The Mammoth? I mean, I guess I could put a little in the Mammoth here. It's just going to top some of that up. But like, okay. The Sabertooth? No, this is Orange Stones Only Club. Okay. And then the Rhino. Ah, we do have something we can... Well, I guess we'll do a little bit of the Rhino here. Now, I think I need to actually do a replace before it'll let me hit auto. Yeah, okay. All right. Cool. Cool. So anyways, thanks for entertaining my rendition of this really dumb thing happened in my state. And it was like kind of preventable, but despite the best efforts of so many people, we couldn't. And we couldn't because a couple high power players supported these guys. And it's just like, I don't know, man. It is what it is. So I feel like that aspect of Whiteout is, in fact, really weird. It's like a small number of people can make an entire community super miserable. And that's always the case in any game of this design where, like, it's a state, they live there, you live there, and, like, you either are getting along or what? You zero each other into eternity? Well, that's not such a great option. So, like, you tolerate each other until somebody leaves? And the problem with doing that is that everybody's seeing this bullshit going on. It's like, fuck it, I'll just go somewhere else. Yeah. So, anyways, that happened. But now we have space and alliances, and we're in a really good spot. Which sounds weird, but like, there's a lot of value, in my opinion, to having a state that is lean and like as close as I think you can possibly get to 100% contribution. Like that is in many games a desired end state that is never achieved. So I think as we grow now, we, just build back up the depth that we had before, and we're chilling. But if you did want to transfer to our state, which I think there's never been a better time, I'll have a link down below to our transfer Discord. I know you're really selling it, Chisquel, and I'm like not trying to sell you on it. Like, oh, come, not come, do whatever you want. But what I will say of our state that is really high praise is like we have some of the best war leaning I've seen anywhere. We've seen some of the best prep I've seen anywhere for entering into a fight. And I think that it's really like shown in our results of late that like we're able to punch up and win, and it's crazy. We should not be able to do this. Anyways, we'll see how we do in this one. I hope we get the W. I'm hoping. Now this pet has really leveled up pretty evenly here. I feel like that's very unusual. All these are going to flip purple at about the same time, which is honestly a good thing. And marksman health being low is perfectly fine. Infantry lethality being low is perfectly fine. The things that I care about the most are Lancer Leth and Marksman Leth. And like once those have advanced to purple, I probably could just go to a different pet if I wanted and just chill. Now, some people would say like, whoa, Chisco, like, don't you want to just save a bunch of these for when another pet shows up? No, we have SVS. Like, we have SVS. We're about to be in a fight. Like, I want to push as much as I can push, gain as much as I can gain, and then, you know, and only then would I consider saving, and I don't have enough stones to gain everything I could gain anyways with these blue ones, so I think we just push here. Ooh, there's Lancer Lethality. Okay, so once Marksman Lethality is advanced, I probably at that point can chill. And there's probably some wisdom to doing this like manually at this point, but I don't have it in me, man. I really just like don't have it in me. So I'm not going to do that. Holy smokes. And and at this point, we're not even halfway through our stones. It's kind of wild. But I feel like we're getting some good stat gains so far. I don't know. This is where all my gems go, chat. It goes into this. The pet slot machine. Lol. The old pet slot machine. Once Marksman Leth pops, we're good. But it still hasn't. Oh! All right. Probably can stop. All right. Now, we did the Iron Rhino. I might need to do the Snow Ape. That might be the play. I think it actually is the play, weirdly enough. I could also consider these lower tier pets, and that might be decent. For now, I'm going to stick to the higher tier pets. I think the higher tier ones, but we may double back in this vid even, and get some of the other ones. So here we're chilling. Here, I think we have opportunity here. We're going to do this one for a little bit. These are going to advance, and it is what it is, and that should go pretty quickly. So I'm not opposed to that. Why don't we just do this for a minute? What am I looking for? I really do want the infantry health. I want the... So we're looking for infantry health and Lancer Lethality. Everything else is kind of a bonus at this point. Yeah. That's where we're at. Cool. Cool. Okay. Slowly but surely, chat. We do the thing. We do the thing. I think my next troop type that I'm going to focus on, by the way, for gear improvements, is going to be the infantry. I'm going to get that gear 100 all the way around. And then finally, I'll get to double back on my Lancers, which are so neglected. It's actually insane. Like, I'll show you my hero gear, and you're going to be like, dude. And I'm going to be like, I know. I know. Ooh, Lancer Lethality flipped. That's good. That's one of the two that I needed. So once infantry health flips, I think we look to other projects here for where we can spend these. And it's kind of wild that I'm actually now going to go back potentially to some other pets. That is kind of wild. And to an extent, like right now, do I even care about Lancers all that much? No. It's for me, Inf and Marksman, which is something I never expected that those would be the two troop types I'm all inning. But that's what it is. Okay, hey, there's Marksman health. Okay. And now once the infantry health goes up, I guess we chill. Maybe that's a good play. Maybe we should just stop. Not sure. I'm thinking about this the wrong way. Kind of a lot of stones here, chat, to get anything. Because so much of this is purple. Like, I feel like once this... Look at this. Oh my god, this is a disaster. Once you get so many to purple, you almost kind of like need to be using... Okay, there we go. You need to be using like the other stone to like really advance. Okay, so we're looking pretty good here. Gorilla, chilling. Snow Ape is the one that I could probably work on. Cave Lion, we're kind of chilling. And then I feel like it's skipping pets, I swear to God. How is it ordering these? The Frost Gorilla, chilling. The Mammoth, chilling. The Sabertooth is only progressible with these. So I'm just going to use these real quick. Okay. The Iron Rhino is chilling. The snow ape. Yeah, this is the one where, like, what do I even care from that at this point? Might honestly not be the pick. No, I have what I need. I have infantry health. I have marksman lethality. Like, those are the two things I care about. So, like, I think unironically, what I do is I go over, like, here to the purple pets. And we say, okay, like, time to progress these bad boys, right? Is this a mistake, chat? It might be. I'm not sure. Let's give it a shot and see what happens here. Oh, this is going great. Yeah, this was a wait, what the hell? This was a great decision. Good job, bro. What are you doing? Ay. Wait, this is awful. Shouldn't it be better than doing the legendary pets? Why is this so bad? All right, it was just an unlucky spree, chat. It was just an unlucky spree. Was it just an unlucky spree? Not so sure. I'm not so sure. But this gets me what I want, right? What I want is infantry health and marksman leth, and I'll get some other stuff along the way too, and that's fine. But it's getting me, I think, the things that I want. And like marksman health is a bonus. Infantry lethality is a bonus. But I think this is doing the thing that I need. Theoretically. Or it's doing nothing. Okay. Well, anyways. So what else is new? State is in a really good spot. Position for growth. Super organized. We talked about that. Clearly, I don't have any talking points. I have health is in a decent spot. We could talk about health for a minute. Health is kind of crazy. Health in general is crazy, is what I'm trying to say. So I've been exercising. That's been going well. And one of the things that's just like so insane is I used AI. I know, chat. I know. I used AI to look at my genes, which I have because I did 23andMe long ago, and I uploaded it to a site called Livewello, which then analyzes your genes for health implications or something. I don't remember what I uploaded it there such a long time ago. But I used AI to go back through and be like, hey, like, if I want to improve my sleep quality, which is what I did, because Brian Johnson, okay, so I need to give you so much context. Brian Johnson's an internet celebrity. He is a billionaire who made his money at a tech startup that he sold, and then now is all he cares about is living forever and longevity. So all he does is basically experiment on his body and then share the results with everybody to try to figure out how to live forever. But one of the things he found is that sleep is like the most important thing. And so I said, okay, is there anything in my genetics that influences sleep? So we used AI, we went in and got a look, and it's like, yes, actually, there are things that you can do that might improve your sleep that you might not have expected would improve sleep. So we literally just got some supplements to try to mess with that and see what happens. So chat, we'll see. I could be healthier than ever soon. I'm hoping. I actually am hoping. Because my sleep has always been kind of mid. But as soon as Brian Johnson said the most powerful thing you can do for your body is actually just get sleep, it's more powerful than any drug that's ever been invented, I was like, oh, okay. I guess we need to figure out how to push on that, huh? And that's when I went down the rabbit hole of like, what if I used AI to and it's like, wee. Down the rabbit hole we go. Chad, is this a bad use of my wild marks? I feel like this is going way slower than I would have hoped. And I'm like not getting a ton of stats. Am I crazy? I don't think I am. I am getting stats for the right things. Like, I mean, this is getting me infantry health probably more than I would have on the other style of pet that I have available to me. I am getting marksman lethality, but like, I feel like I'm getting barely anything. Just generally, it's like a gazillion stones for almost nothing. I guess that's just like the nature of wild marks. generally. Maybe we're on a little bit of a good spree now. Maybe we're sorted now. Ooh, actually, okay. Maybe we're sorted now. Why is this sucking? I feel like it was. I should have been watching more closely exactly how many stones I had there at the start of all that. But whatever, we take these to purple, and then I got another pet that I can push them up on. We just kind of go from there. You could argue, just maybe you should just save these for some other troop, or not troop, the other pet release. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments on what I should be doing here. I've given up the idea that I'll do everything perfectly optimally in Whiteout Survival. And I'm okay with it. It is what it is. But I do wonder. I do wonder about some of it. My pet power should be, after all these stones, be in a relatively good spot. Oh, what are they saying? Come on, guys. Push, push, push. I mean, I'm doing my part. I got my wild marks flying through here. I suppose I could drop some speed ups on experts now, even though I can't actually upgrade the skills. I could just put the speeds into them and like just wait. That just feels suboptimal to me, you know? I just don't have the books. All right. I just got a message from someone who reminded me bear traps coming up, which I guess I'll just hit the bear once and call it a day today. Some days are like that. Some days are like that. Yeah, the reminder of bear trap. I was like, oh shoot. Well, I chose to record this when I did, and here we are. GG. It is on this purple pet, a very small amount of stats compared to other pets. This is, maybe I'm blundering here, chat. Maybe I am blundering. Let's get a look around here. How's this going? I mean, I don't know. The problem is that on these other pets, there's no more of the stats that I really need. So like maybe the total stats might be higher, but it's just not what I need. I don't need that. I don't really need this. Lancer lethality would be nice, but I don't really need it. There's a lot more to be gained though. We're looking at like 8% of stats in this tier instead of 5 in the other tier of pet. Why is it jumping from, I feel like it's jumping. I must just be making this up. Yeah, I'm probably just making it up. No, I'm not. Is it sorting these pets by power? What's happening right now? How is it going? How is it ordering these pets? How is it, what in the, okay, whatever. Yeah, okay, so this tier, it is like 5% of stats. Yeah, I guess we just keep going. Okay. Retry. We gotta retry till we get a green. Bro. Okay. Let's get back after it, I guess. I guess we just get back after it. But yeah, when I was just sorting through those, they weren't ordered the same way, were they? As they were in my pen or whatever. I'm not imagining it, chat. I'm going crazy, but this isn't why. All right. Well, GG. Our grand total stat gain is going to be pretty decent here. I mean, yeah, I think my original estimate of like, I don't know, 30% of a couple different group types and stat types is pretty good. I'll take it. I need all the help I can get if I'm backup rallying chat. If I'm dolphin rallying. I basically get, you know, my 2 hours of heaven. Uh, 7 minutes in heaven, or what was that? Hey, yo, what are we talking about anymore? Oh, it's a kissing party game. Whoopsies. Oh, man, take me back to high school. I never did this in high school. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, that's what that is. Well, chat. Well. We're just going to run with it. We're just going to run with it. So my 2 hours of heaven or whatever, my 2 minutes of fame, 2 hours of relevance in SVS is when I have pet buffs active. And then I get to get a taste of what it's like to be a proper rally lead for just 2 hours. And I feel like my pets are decent. I think my pet power is decent because I don't know that a lot of people tolerate going through the wild marks like I am here, where it's like, yes, 1,000 wild marks for 5%. Okay, buddy. Is that really what I'm about to get? I think it might be. I actually think it might be. Ripperooski here, chat. Maybe I should be saving them for a future pet. So I'm going to use these, and then we just need health for inf, and really just marksman lethality, which unfortunately is like one of the lowest here. But once those two flip purple, I could switch to the other pet. The other way to approach it, which is probably the better way, is once infantry health flips purple, because that's the closest of the two of them between infantry health and marksman lethality. At that point, I probably should flip to the other pet. I think that's what I'll do, because there's so much room to upgrade there. And I'm still kind of operating in this mode like I was for prior videos, where it was like, I'm just running it all the way through to see how many stones it takes to get the upgrade, but I'm not doing that. So I should just stat max here and switch pets a bit as they flip purple. That's what I should do. Yeah. Marksman lethality might be catching up. Maybe. Hopefully. Probably not. It'll all balance out. So anyways, after this, we get the next gen of hero, which will be pretty cool. We're on what? Gen 7? And we're kind of on the countdown for tier 10, or FC10, I guess I should say. FC10. Which I've been saving up for. I think I need like 1,400 refined fire crystals. And I think I have about 1,000. But if I can get to that 1,400, which I should be able to do by the time FC10 rolls out, then at least I can get the troops unlocked. Would it be good if I could go further immediately? I mean, obviously. But at least I could get the troops unlocked. Okay. I think because the infantry flipped, we could pause there on this guy and go to the next one, which is this guy here. And we could push on this. This is probably going to use up the rest of my stones. And once I get either infantry health or marksman lethality to purple, I could think about what I want to do next. And then we go from there. I think that's the play, chat. And this video ends up being like 40 minutes, which is kind of insane. A 40-minute yap fest. Oh, it's way more than 40 minutes. This is fine. This is fine. The real question is, how many people are going to watch the video from start to finish? Let's get a look at the last time I did this. Let's get a peek. If I get a look, the last time I spent this many wild marks, what was it? It was a while ago that I made a vid about it anyways. It was 3,476 wild marks. Only 4,400 people watched it. The video was 51 minutes, so I should have known what I was getting into. And if I look at the analytics, let's see here. The average watch time is 12 minutes and 53 seconds, which is 5 minutes more than normal. So if I make this video 40 minutes longer than normal, I'll get 5 minutes extra watch time on average. Great. Great. Oh my God. What a guy. What a guy. Yeah, so I'm working on sleep. I'm still, okay, so I was losing weight and I was doing that with a calorie deficit. I stopped the calorie deficit for a couple weeks after I had my last surgery. I don't know if we talked about this. Did I talk about this? Okay. So if you're not caught up on my health, here's what happened. I had cancer. We surgically removed it. It was stage 0. I was declared cancer-free, but still had to go in every 3 months and get additional surgeries to make sure that other moles were not problematic. And one of the things they looked at immediately was a mole right near the original surgery because they were worried that maybe the cancer was coming back. And it turns out it was a different mole, but it was severely abnormal. So I had to have, basically they were like, you're going to have the same procedure all over again right where you had it the last time, which really sucks. But the good news is that when I got into the doctor's office, they were like, hey, you didn't recover well from this last one, judging by how the scar looks. I was like, oh, great. That's great news. They were like, you didn't recover well, so we're going to do this different procedure. You won't need stitches. You'll be more functional immediately, but it's going to take longer to heal. I was like, okay. So they basically scoop out the mole and then don't stitch it up. They're just like, great, done. We just scooped it out. So they don't go as deep, which is why they don't have to stitch. But because they didn't stitch, it takes much, much longer to heal. But you're also way more mobile immediately, which I think was a way better outcome than if they had to do the stitches. Because it took me a month before I could start to walk again properly. And when that happened, I had to actually relearn how to walk. It didn't take that long for me to do, but like I had sort of been hobbling in a way that was trying to avoid, pain and messing up the stitches and the wound that like, I literally had to relearn how to walk, which is weird. So anyways, the good news is that they scooped out that mole. They got it all. The risk of this procedure was that if they didn't get it all, then they'd have to go back and do the stitches after all and the bigger surgery. But they got it all, W. So now I'm once again chilling until my next 3-month check-in, which is going to be late April. Start of April. It's like start of April. And yeah, I mean, hopefully when they do biopsies then, which I'm sure they will, they don't find anything weird so that I don't have to get more of these surgeries, which would suck. Yeah. 365 stones left. I think this is going to use up the remainder of the stones. Hopefully I'm stat maxing here the troop types I care about the most, which is purely in the realm of, when you get down to it, marksman leth and infantry health. And down the road, when I care more about lancers, which maybe one day I will, I could go back and do some stuff with that and push further. And I could also kind of decide at that time doing the lower tiers of pets, I guess. I mean, at what point are common wild marks? I don't know. I thought I would never reach the point where I'm like, I don't know what to do with all these, with common wild marks. Like I thought for sure there'd always be something that I could put them on and I'd be forever behind on pets. But I think maybe we're getting to the end game now and we're kind of catching up a little bit. And maybe I will need to get way more creative with how I deploy common wild marks. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments here. First stat that's going to make it to purple. Oh, I mean, it's going to be the marksman lethality before it's the infantry health. That's for sure. All this for a small amount of stats, chat. We'll go through the pictures and compare the two pictures and see like the before and the after and how much we gained. But, the gem cost of this little endeavor today was like 1.6 million gems, something like that. So we'll see how that works out. Was it worth it? I don't know, chat. 200 of these suckers left. Am I eager for them to be done? Yes. Yes, I am, chat. Yes, I am. We're almost at the finish line. What else do we want to talk about together? We talked about health. We talked about sleep. We talked about the weirdness of the state, but how we're in a great spot now and everybody's rowing in the same direction. How we will take people in this transfer cycle and we're a good destination. What else is going on? We talked about how I have a gazillion games. I have no big fights coming up in the other games, which is really nice. It's a little bit relaxing. It's the only reason I have time for I really have time for a guilty pleasure game I play on the side. And also, Overwatch Rush. It's interesting to see Blizzard making another mobile game, in part because I was fortunate enough to actually get flown out to Blizzard headquarters in California to check out the Druid class when they released that for Diablo Immortal. So that was like super cool. That was like kind of a dream come true to go to Blizzard headquarters and, have them fly me there and be like, yeah, let's tell you about how we made a class and we're adding it to this game, which is a franchise I've loved forever. So, Diablo. I mean, come on. They made ARPGs, right? The genre. They made that genre. That's their thing. Yeah, that was really cool. I mean, I remember when I was a kid. Okay, this is just the truth. But I had a friend. He was one of my best friends. And he was like, hey, you want to hang out? And it was the day that Diablo, the original Diablo, had come out. And I was like, oh man, I got a thing. Can't make it. But I really just wanted to play Diablo because it was launch day, which is hilarious. Ooh, Lancer lethality flipped. Dude, infantry health. How is it this far behind? That's actually insane. I'm gonna run out of stones anyways. I'll just let this run out, and it is what it is. And we got where we got. Should I let it run out? I mean, I guess I could do a different pet. Stop. I could do any one of these other pets, I guess. Just put them here. Might be more total stats, even if it's not quite the right stats. Or it could just be nothing. Or it could just be a lot of nothing. Well, well, well. Well, 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 chat. Let's see here. How are we doing? Man, this prep is... Oh, we're winning! We're winning! That's crazy. I'd like to think I had something to do with that. Okay, well, if I want to progress this further, like Mithril, I've done everything I can do with Chief Gear. I don't have any way to really spend Essence Stones. I did widgets. I even did some Fire Crystals. Like I was saying, I could like speed up some expert skills, but I can't actually upgrade them. So like kind of what's the point is how I feel about that. Right? Like I have 2,270 of these books. I can't do anything. But I could speed it up and like get to the point where all I have to do is spend the books. But I don't like doing that because like they're gonna come out with some new expert and then how will I feel about that? I could do this, Alliance Championship badges, but this like isn't what's important to me, So, I mean, maybe it should be what's important to me. Let me do this real quick. Let's put a tap on the bear. I know I should really like actually pay attention to the bear and like do it for real, but I'm just going to do this. A little tap on the bear. This is really like not the way to do that, but here's the thing. I got stuff to do. I don't know if you could hear, I got the monitor. Kid's starting to cry. I got 3 kids, chat. I gotta get after it. Enjoy the vid. Throw a like in here. Subscribe. I'm looking forward to this SVS. Happy with the direction of the state. Definitely was a setback to have these people do this thing that sucked for everybody, but now they're gone. W. All right, I gotta get my kid. Until next time, you have fun smashing your enemies. Take care, everybody.